Welcome back, coders. Now it's time to discuss about the JavaScript while loop. Okay, previously we have discussed about for of loop, for in loop, and for loop. Now it's time to discuss about the while loop. So basically, first of all, we need to know why while loop is needed. So we have the for loop and while loop. So this is quite similar, but it has some subtle differences. So you should use while loop. You don't when you don't know the starting point and ending point, but you know the condition. You just know the condition. Okay. So if the number of iteration is known upfront, a for loop is often cleaner and more readable. So if you know the iteration upfront, use for loop. And if you don't know the starting point and ending point, you just know the condition, then use while loop. So here is the explanation also. When you know the number of iterations beforehand, use for loop. Examples: iterating over an array, continuing number, repeating an action, and types. While loop, when the number of iteration is unknown and depend on the condition, waiting for user input, searching a list until a condition is met, pulling for data. Okay, so thereafter we have the do while loop, but I will discuss later. So let's see. Loops can execute a block of code as long as the specified condition is true. The while loop, the JavaScript while loop, the while loop through a block of code as long as the specified condition is true. So this is the syntax. Okay, while loop. In the following example, the code is in the loop will run over and over again as long as the variable I is less than 10. So you will not get differentiate the for loop and while loop by this code. Don't worry, uh, I have my homemade while loop. I will show you a little bit later. Just follow along the course. Okay, continue the video. So this is what is happening over here. So there is no initialization, there is the increment, just condition. So it will run only 10 times. Okay, so this number is 0 to 10. So you can do this by for loop also. So that cannot differentiate much or give you much idea about the differentiation in between while loop and for loop. So I will give you some practical examples. Before that, if you forgot to increase the variable using the condition, the loop will never end. It will crash your browser. So if you don't omit the condition, your browser will crash. Okay, so right now I am giving you some practical examples of while loop. Okay, so let found taxi say equal to false. Okay, let steps equal to 0 while not found taxi then the loop will run until the found taxi will become true. So steps plus plus console.log walking steps. Okay, let's start the coca. Okay, and after that it's running. Okay, so if math.random is less than 0.8, found taxi true. Until we don't get found taxi true, the loop will run and it can crash your browser. So that's why it is very you should give the found taxi true, otherwise loop will run continuously. Okay, then console log taxi found stopping. Okay, so let's see. Walking step 1, okay, taxi found. After 2 steps they are finding taxi. So you don't know when you will get the taxi. So you don't know in upfront. You see, if you don't know upfront, okay, you don't know the starting point, you don't know the starting point, the ending point. Do you know ending point here? No ending point here. Who knows when you will get taxi? So you may get it in the 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps. So no one knows that. So that's why while loop is perfect over here, because in the upfront we don't know nothing. Okay, so and you see the character. So when until we make it true, the code is the loop is running. It's because he is not getting taxi. You see, code is running, and it can crash your browser. So that's why it is very emergency to stop the loop. So whenever you will math random greater than 8, it will stop the found taxi. It will become true. So the while loop will run until found taxi become true. Okay, so let's give another example of while loop. You know for loop. Before while loop, you have to know the for loop very clearly. Okay, say const numbers. Okay, say 10, 20, 30 like that. Okay, so let I equal to 0 while I less than numbers dot length and numbers I less than 20, say 55. This is the condition. So we have no finishing point. So can you match this? You don't know the starting point and ending point, but we just only know the condition. The loop will run. Okay, I plus plus. So if I less than numbers dot length console dot log first number is greater than 55 is numbers I. So first number is greater than 60. Okay, so this is the condition. So you just only know the condition. So when the loop stop, you don't know. Okay, so for this case, we will while loop. Okay, so now let's go for if you forgot to increase the variable used in the condition. So if you don't use the condition, the loop will never end. This will crash your browser. The do while loop. The do while loop is a variant, and I have the example when we should use do while loop. A do while loop is useful when you need to execute the loop body at least once. At least once. This is very important. Before the checking the loop, it will execute the loop body at least once, regardless of the condition. The condition is checked after the loop body executes. Common use case, user input validation when prompting the user input until you provide the valid data, menu selection, displaying a menu at least once and waiting for user input, generating random numbers, running the loop at least once before checking a condition, retrying an operation, retrying an API call or action is succeeded. Okay, some technical glitches, no problem. Okay. Mm, okay, now I will discuss about the do while loop. I had some technical glitches, no problem. I'm restoring. Okay, so do while loop. The do while loop is a variant of the while loop. This loop will execute the code block once. This is very important. It will run once before checking the condition. So before condition is here, but it will run at least once. So no worries, I will give you some practical examples. So the do while loop. The do while loop is okay. I have read this. This is the syntax. The example below uses a do while loop. The loop will always be executed at least once, even if the condition is false, because of the code block is executed before the condition is tested. So see the example. Okay, before checking the condition, this is the condition, but it will run once. Okay, so what is text? I equal to 0. The text number is, it will I plus plus, and the loop will run until text. So here it is stopping. So this is all about while loop. So let's go for some practical example. Okay, do not forget to increase the variable until condition, otherwise the loop will never end. Do not forget to increase the variable used in the condition. Okay, so okay, do not forget to increase the variable used in the condition, otherwise the loop will never end. Okay, so let's get some practical example. Okay, let's go for another example of do while. So let num, okay, do num equal to prompt. So we wanna prompt the number is greater than 10. Okay, and we need while over here. So if y is num is less than or equal to 10, and if it is a number, then we wanna console log valid number entered. Okay, and it's num. While loop, this do section will run. Okay, that was our main aim. Okay, let's see in the browser. Prompt will not work in the VS Code. Let's see. So if I give more than 10, I will get the output. Okay, valid number. So if I give less than, more than 32, 32. But if it is less than 10, then it will not work. So actually what our plan is here is this prompt is running before the condition or while loop. Okay, so that was our main aim. So I have given you two main examples other than W3 school, JavaScript while loop. So I hope that will make you give you a good understanding. Okay, do while loop is run at least once before checking the condition. Okay, so now comparing for and while. So if you have read previous chapter about the for loop, you will discover that a while loop is much same as for loop with a statement on or two. The for loop is example use a for loop to collect the car names. So this is for loop. This is a loop in the example use while loop to collect the car names from the array. So both are possible. So here it is doing by for loop, and here it is doing by while loop. Same thing done by two things. Okay, the loop is in the example used a for loop to collect the car names from the array. The loop in the example uses a while loop to collect the from the array. So both are doing the same thing. So they have some subtle differences. So this is the main focusing point. So if you have do while, or if you don't know the starting and ending point but you know the condition, then use while loop, otherwise go for loop. Okay, so we are done with the while loop. Okay, let's go for the break. So JavaScript break and continue. So break statement jumps out of the loop. So it will jumps out from the loop. The continue statement jumps over on iteration in the loop. So break statement. You have already seen the break statement used in the earlier chapter of this tutorial. It was used in the jump out to switch. So in the switch chapter, we already see the break. The break statement can also be used to jump out of the loop. So here you see, so this is the break. So I am showing you in the VS Code. Console.log. Okay, so here it is supposed to run up to 10, but it is stopping here 0. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2. You see 0, 1, 2. Why? For the break. There is a break used here. If you give 5, 5 up to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 means 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that it is saying. So you can use break or you can use continue. So we have continue also. So in the example above, the break statement ends the loop, breaks the loop when the loop counter is 3. The continuous statement. The continuous statement breaks on iteration in the loop. Breaks on iteration in the loop is specified condition occurs. The condition with the next iteration in the loop. The example skips the value of 3. Okay, let's see. So it will continue after 3. So it will not stop, it will continue. But if I use break over here, so it will go up to 3. But I don't like to use break over here. Continue. So it will go up to 10. Okay, this is break and continue. So if you give continue, it will continue. If you break, it will breaks. JavaScript label. To label JavaScript statement, you precede the statement with a label, name, and a clone. So you have to give the label and then statement. The break and the continue statement are only JavaScript statement that can jump out of the code block. So break label name, continue label name. The continue statement with or without label reference can only be used to skip on loop iteration. The break statement with label reference can only be used to jump out of the loop or switch. With a label reference, the break statement can be used to jump out of the code block. So with label reference, you can use the label reference. So let's see. You see here is a break list. So this is the name list, and if you use it, it will not go after 1 and 2. Okay, say if I write it Shakil over here, it will not work because there is Shakil, but there is list. These two names are same, must be same. So this time it will run. So you see Volvo, but if I give break afterwards, it will get sub. it will get sub. Okay, so you can use this with a label reference. The break statement can also jump out of any code. So this is the label, list and list. This name should be similar, otherwise it will not work. Label and label. So code block is a code between this curly braces. Okay, we are done. This is not very big deal, not that much tough. Afterwards, we'll discuss about the iterable, JavaScript iterables. This is very important, and it has the iterators, symbol iterators. This is also very important. Okay, so we will start discussing the JavaScript iterables.